woman won millions in the lottery, but squandered it all within a few short years. The day Annie won the lottery, she solemnly vowed to give her family a better life. However, she quit her job afterwards and spent her days in the company of alcohol. Annie splurged extravagantly, often drinking herself into a stupor. For 6 whole years, she never once cared about her family. The $1 million prize was quickly drained, and the house was lost to Annie's drinking. Abandoned by family and friends, she became a lonely soul. Even the humble rented room where she eked out a living was lost due to unpaid rent, and she was kicked out. On the verge of homelessness, Annie became frightened. She concocted various excuses to beg from her neighbors, but no one was willing to lend a helping hand. To a drunkard, now a vagrant, Annie could only sleep on the streets. With no skills to her name, Annie wandered the streets all day. Mike, from a nearby restaurant, took pity on her. After much contemplation, he let Annie help out at his hotel. The staff advised Mike not to hire this good-for-nothing, but Mike had also experienced life's low points. He felt that someone needed to give Annie a chance. Mike gave Annie simple instructions for the job and paid her some wages in advance. Sure enough, Annie did not disappoint everyone. On the day she got the money, she went straight to the bar to drink. After the long-awaited indulgence, she forgot about work hours. Mike did not hold it against Annie, but then, Annie secretly binged on alcohol at work. Her perfunctory attitude drew customer complaints. Annie always said she would change, but not a single day did she arrive at work on time. Mike's patience was gradually wearing thin. Annie remembered that she still had a son. With the little money she had left, she bought a bus ticket and traveled for a day. Annie told her son that she missed him and came to see him, but seeing his mother's disheveled appearance, David knew Annie was homeless, but didn't expose her. 18-year-old David should have been completing his education, but was forced to become a construction worker to support himself. His mother's arrival made David anxious and uneasy. Like a ticking time bomb, the life he had painstakingly built could be shattered in an instant. Annie told her son she would quit drinking. Although it sounded like a pipe dream, it at least made her son feel a bit relieved. But as soon as David left, Annie stole some change from a coworker's pocket and hurried to the store to buy a bottle of alcohol. A person fallen into the abyss speaks nothing but lies. What pained David even more was that his mother actually went into the room of 2 strange men just to get a drink. At that moment, David's life was completely ruined by Annie. Utterly disappointed, David took out all the money from his wallet and gave it to Annie. Perhaps he had long been accustomed to the despair of his family members. After that day, Annie became silent and reticent. She still went to the bar to drink as usual. On the way back, she unknowingly arrived at her former house. Seeing the memories with her son still on the tree by the door, she suddenly burst into tears. Perhaps at that moment, something changed in Annie's heart. This time, Annie truly wanted to make a change. The next day, Annie was not late for work. She got up early and started a round of cleaning. Mike saw it and decided to employ Annie for a while longer. From that day on, Annie never went to the bar again. In fact, the best way to ruin a person is precisely to give them a windfall